morning, Paul. Get closer to the microphone. I think you're too far away. Good morning.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you?
I'm fine. You people are from UN Women.
Yeah.
What is that even?
Do you know UN Women?
What is that UN Women?
I think Jesse has never
United
heard of UN
Nations
Women.
Oh.
Oh, he has, but he just wants to be elaborated.
I think he has. You're my friend.
Of course
so
he
you should
has.
know.
Okay, I'm asking for my friends.
Yes,
UN
okay.
Women.
Okay,
Sounds
we
so
want
very
to know.
international. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so UN Women is a UN gender entity
Gender entity.
and women's empowerment.
Okay.
So we really work to empower women through our partners, through government. So we work with people, we work with government to make sure that our women and girls are empowered.
Mm.
Yes, through advocacy, policies, and yeah.
But then you mentioned gender. I think gender is inclusive. It's the both, the male and female. How does it work? UN Women should be UN Women and Men.
So when we talk about gender, it's not women. Gender is both.
It's both.
Yes, both men and women. So what we are trying to do is just try to have inclusivity for both women and girls who have been left behind for some time. So our role here is actually to advocate for women and girls to be at the same level with our brothers and
Equal
fathers,
opportunities.
and yes, have equal opportunities, have equal access, have equal participation.
Is that where this word, is it a hashtag that I get to hear, he, for, she? Is that where it comes from?
They.
Yes, so for the he for she is we are trying to call men to be part of the campaign, to be our allies, to be allies for women and girls, to help us achieve what we can't alone. So the he for she, a he. So for example, you're a he for she because you're giving us the platform to raise awareness.
I'm actually
For the she.
I'm actually he for she's because I
my
work
God.
with 9 women.
Oh wow.
And he's
It
the
is-
only man.
I'm the only man.
The alpha
So-
male.
Oh wow, that's good to know.
So you moved around with Geno. Geno, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Good to have you here. You are from UN Women. When they told me there's a guy as well coming from the UN Women, I said I need to hear from you working with UN Women.
Yeah.
Yeah, how does it feel like?
No, I think it represents exactly what we have discussed now and Pearl has mentioned about gender equality, you know? It's not exclusive of just women. It entails both men and women because we live in a community where we have to get along and leverage each of our strengths to get the best that we can for everyone, you know? So I think even now as we talk about the campaign, he for she, it showcases that it's a collective responsibility. Yeah, like gender equality is not just about the women, it's also about the men as well. And I think having it in a public kind of space, that it's a partnership and that we are kind of relying on each other, I think is a great thing that we're doing with this. Yeah.
Then he for she, UN Women. Then we have Mercy, who is a comedian, and Mercy is the founder, entrepreneur with the Gen Zs. All right, Mercy, good to have you here in the studios.
Thank you so much.
You know, you look too humble to be a comedian.
Because my father is a pastor.
Really?
How does that?
So when you're a child of a pastor, you got to be humble.
You have to be humble because of those things of reading Bible every day.
Then how did this child of a pastor and humble like you end up being a comedian? How interesting is that?
Yeah, because it's a miracle.
It's a miracle. Even you're in disbelief.
Yeah.
Interesting. But one would like to wonder what a comedian with what is the comedian doing with UN Women people?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
yes.
Karunji, yes.
Okay, so the He for She campaign, we are working with comedy this time under the campaign to change the punchline, which is in Rwanda, in Rwanda. So we are working with Merci and others, artists and influencers who have a bigger platform, but also who use their humor to make people laugh, to make people ease off. So it's that easy way to bring out difficult conversations through humor. So we are working with our comedians. That's why Merci is here to try to use their platform, but also raise awareness, because most often we've found out that through comedy, some negative stereotypes passed on through the comedy show that they do, through the jokes they tell, and humor sometimes can hurt people.
Yeah.
So we want to try and raise awareness to the comedians and the artists that they can use positive humor that empowers, that does not harm, that should unite all genders. So that's why we are here with Merci, and we are trying to actually ask them to donate their funny. Yeah.
Because you're right. I think most comedians tend to be insensitive to towards women
Yes.
while they're throwing their jokes on stages.
Yes.
When we're in the crowd, we're not impressed. Some of us will feel like, okay, this is really undermining, demeaning of us,
Yes.
of that gender. So I think this is a good idea, for them to work towards trying to tame down trying to find how they can create humor at the same time, have respect for the women.
Yes.
I don't know how complicated it can get for people like Mercy to restructure their humor, because every time I've gone to comment, for instance, if it doesn't involve a woman being carried to the stage, a woman who is well built and she's please calm, and then she's floated around, it's like the humor doesn't really come off so nicely, and it's not funny. As a comedian, Mercy, how do you balance humor with social responsibility? I think the UN Women are putting you on such greater responsibility, especially regarding gender-sensitive content.
Now we did a training, because we used to do those sensitive jokes, and they are good because the people laugh. But after trainings, we found out that jokes that attacks people are not good. They laugh, but sometimes we comedians, we always attack someone, and then you say that it was a joke, and they took it personally sometimes. And but the thing is, we have to change, because you can be positive and still be funny. That's why Hindra Blag is working now.
Isn't it too much the turnaround to what people are accustomed to, and then changing to try to make constructive, positive jokes?
It is not easy, but we have to try, because that's why we are
especially
artists.
In an audience that doesn't laugh that much.
Because Rwandese, they don't laugh, because when you're attacking people, that's when they laugh. When you're attacking people, that's when they laugh.
Especially
But
women.
when you start telling them about this and that and your journey,
they're not
take it as
interested.
a story. But when you're attacking someone, you said, you, man, you look like you are pregnant. So that's when they laugh. I don't know why, but we have to change, because comedy is a good... you can pass any message through comedy, because you can't tell a singer to change his song. But we comedians, we can take the message and then we put that message in our jokes, and then after, people can understand and then laugh, because we know many comedians, legends, who use positive jokes to change even people's lives. They laugh, and then after, life goes on. So that's why Gen Zs and even other comedians, we have to change the punchline, because we can't always attack people. So we have to make sure that we have good jokes, so that you can start believing now, like UN Women, they can use comedians in campaigns, because you can't use people when you know that they are going to deliver your message. So that's why you have to know that we have to follow where money is. We have to change the jokes.
You spoke about training. Who is conducting these trainings, and what do these trainings look like?
They are really nice, and Arthur is a part of the trainings. Is the pioneer in these things of comedy. So Arthur, we were in the training together with comedians. So the purpose of the trainings is to change the punchline. We are changing our punchlines, but we are sure that because we are when you are on the stage, you are like the driver of the bus. So people have to follow. So we are going to change the punchlines and make sure that people are going to laugh. That's what we are doing now, and it will work because, as I said, you can't always attacking people. So you have to be positive. And that's where money is. You can't even start. Big companies can start believing in you because they know that you are delivering the message well. But if you know that you are attacking someone, they can't even invite you in their dinner because they know that you are going to attack the CEO of the company. So that's why comedians have to think. We have to think big, and we make sure that the jokes are funny and with a positive, in a positive way.
You've seen Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle does jokes. He doesn't really necessarily attack women. He's sensitive, but his jokes are still jokes. They are still funny. We still laugh about them. And he's one of the most respected stand-up comedians.
Sure.
So just to maybe add to what Merci said, you asked about the trainings. So UN Women is conducting the trainings, of course, in partnership with Arthur, to comedians, because they have the people, we have the knowledge. So we work with Arthur Nation and Merci to put the comedians together, upcoming and all those. Through their trainings, last week we had a training with them to raise awareness on some of the negative stereotypes that they unknowingly grew up seeing. They have normalized them. They didn't even see a problem with that. So what we've been trying to do is actually bring up those conversations and show them through even their life. They were able to share what they've been through and how they grew up. So in the training, I think we had like only 4 women who are comedians. And we were trying to ask them, so how was it for you as a woman in comedy? So we were able to hear from some of the stereotypes about women, telling them, oh, women don't talk a lot, or you can't be in the public just opening your mouth. So some of those stereotypes have kept them back. There were a few of them. So what we were trying to do is actually tell them that comedy is for both men and women. And these guys are doing a good job to encourage the women, to give them a platform. So some of the stereotypes comedians didn't know or unknowingly had been passing them on without knowing. So we did the training with them, and then we are still doing the same to raise advocacy. Like I said, we want them to donate their funny in a positive way.
What are some of those stereotypes?
So some of those that we heard from the women. The women making fun of how they drive, for example. If someone drives badly, even me at some point I would say, oh, it could be a woman.
I know.
Because I've grown up hearing the same thing, that women drive badly.
It's actually offensive.
Yes, yet it's very offensive. There are few women who make terrible accidents on this road.
Very few.
They are very
compared
careful
to men.
drivers. So some of that stereotype, if we grow up hearing them, we will pass them on and then pass them on. So we want to also, we've had the joke that if you cry, only women cry.
You're weak. You're weak like a woman. You're crying like a woman.
Men shouldn't cry.
Which is not true.
In Kinyarwanda, they say, umugabo. Or if you do a good thing, they're like, oh, umugabo sha. Even when you're a woman.
They credit a man.
Yes.
And when you fail, uruanyoko.
Yeah. So some of those are very negative.
Yeah,
There are very brilliant women out here.
absolutely.
So there shouldn't be one thing for all women. So I think those are some of the negative social norms.
I'm worried of if these trainings and the transition could fix the Gen Zs and the upcoming comedians in a situation where the audiences do not see them as funny anymore, and how would that threaten the comedy industry?
Because even me, I'm asking myself the same question, but we are trying our best. Because comedy, for me, like when I'm performing, I always talk about the church of my father, my life, my personal life. So you can tell
And the
a
music
story.
in the church.
Yeah, music in the church, those different voices of the choir.
Yes.
So that's my jokes. That's where my jokes are. And comedians, I told them that you have to be unique, because if you are going to attack people, that's not uniqueness.
No.
So you have to tell a story in your way, and you make sure that you know we have many comedians in Gen Zs. So we usually do rehearsal on Wednesday, but now we are doing it twice a week, Wednesday and Sunday. So I want to make sure that they are funny without harassing anyone.
Harassing and attacking.
But I also think humor is not for everyone.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
just
yeah,
me.
yeah,
This
yeah.
is just me.
It's true. Yeah.
If you're going to pick your humor and you take it a certain way,
Yeah.
you are going to impress a certain group of people, and it's fine, really.
Yeah.
You don't have to be dirty to be humorous.
Yeah, sure.
You don't have to insult people to be humorous. That's my thought.
Yeah.
You can bring your very smart humor, and we will laugh for us who will understand the joke.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't have to be for everyone to understand. I'm just thinking out loud.
You know,
Yeah.
I even told them that, Atome Gasumon is a comedian, Rwandan comedian. He's a legend. He usually talk about like the project of the government, policy, soldiers, and he's always positive. And you laugh.
Yeah.
So we have to learn from him. We have to learn from Dave Chappelle, as you said.
Yeah.
So we have to be positive and make sure that our jokes are funny.
Yeah, and again, we are not telling comedians how to do their comedy, okay? We're just trying to raise awareness for them to be sensitive.
Yeah.
And this is also a task for them to be creative, to do the crafting and thinking, so that if they're doing their trainings, I'm so happy I attended one of the trainings where they do go in front and practice what they're going, the jokes, and these guys are there to give them feedback. So this is just a call for them to be extra sensitive. Like if they're coming up with their art, you don't have to hurt someone to be funny.
Yeah.
If you're funny, you're funny.
Yeah, so even in the
Yeah.
audience, they always
Yes.
give us comments that you guys, I want to attend your show, but you always talk about people. So I want to be in the audience without talking about me.
Yeah.
So that's their comments. So
That's why
if
I
they-
left the front row.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
see?
sit at the front row because I don't want to be
Yeah.
noticed by a comedian.
Yeah, many
And
people, they are just, they always like, if I come, you talk about me. So that's why I don't attend your show. So you guys, you have to, now we change the punchline.
Me, I
You
was
have
sitting in
to
the
come.
front row. Don't
Yeah.
She's looking for violence.
Yeah.
In the support that you're giving to the comedians with the Hindra Black campaign, the trainings, because you cannot offer creativity. I don't know if you can pass on creativity to a comedian. This could also mean that some might just want to say, okay, fine, I thought it was this, but it's not that, and that maybe I could just digress into something else. But there's also now an opportunity to achieve a professional space where comedians can thrive within Rwanda and beyond Rwanda. As you and women, are you putting in any funds to bring in experts, comedy experts, to come and sharpen the skills of our local comedians?
Well, this is just a beginning. Very few people have tempted to work with the art industry. And for us, was just one of its kind. We want to see, this year was really focused on comedy. So we want to see how far can we go. And again, this training is not the only thing that is going to change the punchline. It's an overtime work. So we want to see after this change the punchline, because it's a global campaign from he for she. So we want to see after this what is the feedback. Have people tried to change? Do people understand? Do comedians understand? Then we can do the advocacy for such experts to actually maybe work with them. But there's still time. But sure, we are positive. I think we had a gender expert last week also speaking to them and actually bringing each of them to acknowledge what it is that is very harmful. But with time, maybe this is a discussion we can have with the art industry, since we are already in touch with them and we're working with them.
And then people love comedy. If you go to the Gen Z space on Thursday, I think the last time
week.
You were there last week.
Oh my God, it was packed.
Yeah.
It was packed.
People
I was surprised.
after work, they run in to just go and ease, their minds and be in that space. At one point, I thought maybe this is a space for healing, to just be amongst people laughing and just check on your mental health and your mental well-being.
I think it's it's therapy, really.
But it looks like people are actually looking out for content in comedy. Things that you could take home and contemplate about. I want us to talk about the audience, the growing audience of comedy. What role would you want as the consumers of this comedy culture? What role would you want us to play?
That's a very good one. So for consumers, I was there last week and I was just listening. I was surprised. I didn't know people really attend the Gen Z comedy show. And the room was packed.
Always packed.
And I could see that they are young people.
Yeah.
And they're always ferrying extra chairs. Always.
Yes. So for the audience, what we want you to offer is constructive feedback. Like you said, if you know that if you go, they'll talk about you, that alone will stop you from going. So have you shared that with Merci? For the audience, really, our job is to give them constructive feedback because we are the consumers. If something makes me uncomfortable, I am happy to reach out to Merci. I've been seeing comments on their Instagram. People have been giving feedback about the same Gen Z comedy show. And what is exciting is that the same that they were actually saying, oh, the Gen Z comedy show, you're always joking about women, and now they are the ones passing on the message to change the punchline. That is a very positive thing, because they are also realizing that it starts with them, and then also the audience is giving them feedback. So that's all we are required to do. Yeah.
I think I do appreciate the fact that this intervention is early. We cannot undo what Rwanda has really tried to achieve over the years, giving women a space and putting them at the front. And a platform like Mercy's platform is a huge platform to influence how we think and how we act. So I think this intervention is quite timely. Mercy, I don't know, in all these people that I find that you have too much responsibility. Actually, you're a pastor in the Gen Z. Since your dad is a pastor, I think you're just a pastor of the comedy industry. With all the responsibility put to you, what can you promise your audiences that will happen going forward?
The campaign now is Hindura Blag. We're going to change the punchlines and we make sure that you laugh, because that's our job. And Gen Zs, we are many. I have more than 100 comedians.
Wow.
We meet every Wednesday. So among them, that's where we select who are going to perform. So I will make sure that I listen to their jokes before they deliver. And if they are attacking people, they are not going to perform. So that's a promise. People, you have to come and attend Gen Z. Many people used to text me that, I want to attend your show, but the things of talking about people, I don't want to be the topic. So now the jokes are going to be the topic, not you guys. And we are going to make sure that they are positive We are going to change the punchline, as we said.
Great. Speaking to UN Women, speaking to Gen Z, here is Mercy, who is the entrepreneur and also the leader in that space of the Gen Z Comet. They do every Thursday. Have you changed, by the way, the venue?
No, it'll be monthly show. We do twice a month.
Oh, it's twice now. It's twice a month. Okay.
And in March we are celebrating 3 years.
Wow, congratulations. So this month we have a second one?
On
because we had one last weekend.
20th, that's when we
Oh,
the second
20th.
one.
Okay.
20th. And in March, Comedy Store is going to come. I'm going to host the show.
Okay.
Comedy
Alex
Store.
is
Yeah,
coming.
Comedy Store
Alex
Uganda.
Mhanji.
Alex Mhanji is going to come.
With his entire team?
Yeah, entire team.
Okay.
Because I will host Rwandans and then he host Ugandans and they will close. People
Oh,
are going
nice.
to watch 2 shows at the same time.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then Paul Karunji and Jeno coming from
And
UN
we also
Women.
tell them that you have to change the punchline.
Please
That's-
tell
Yeah,
them. Those ones are
That's
crazy.
true.
Yeah, they are very
They're
crazy.
very,
so, yeah.
very sensitive. And yeah.
News is up next. Paul, is there anything that you want to say, or Jeno, something that has not been mentioned that you might want to say right now?
Well, we pretty said everything, and we want to thank you for the platform, but also we want to ask you to pass on the message. You have a big platform. Feel free to invite us
Yeah,
when you
sure.
have time. We are happy to talk about any difficult conversations in
Regarding
gender,
women.
regarding women and girls, but also gender equality and women's empowerment.
Yeah, the thing I'm fighting with really is to have Juliana change the punchline. Juliana does not want women to give men money.
Hey, tomorrow is a
Is it part
Valentine.
of our he or she? Karunji, is that part of the he or she campaign?
Tomorrow is a Valentine or Friday?
Yes.
Tomorrow is
Tomorrow.
Friday. And
Hey,
it's
for me it's
Valentine's.
Friday.
That's
So.
Yeah.
not part. That's not
Karunji,
part.
is that part of our campaign?
No,
Are
that's
we
not part of-
campaigning for, are we giving men money?
No,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
It's
thank
not
you.
part of the
if you
This
have,
is
you
not
can.
part of the he she.
News is up next, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.